And I think we're live Q&A session, guys, on the main channel. Normally do these on the Patreon only nowadays, but yeah, for I always said that if you get me to 16,000 subscribers, I'll do a live Q&A session for you guys on a Sunday, and today is that day where we do that live Q&A session. So we'll try to stick around for maybe about half an hour. It depends on the questions. If we get a lot of questions, we can maybe go a bit longer. If we don't have many questions, we might make it a little bit shorter. So yeah, I'll just give a minute or two. I'll just talk a load of rubbish until give everyone a chance to join and get some questions in, and then we'll get cracking. I don't want to start too quick because some guys might miss the start of it. And as well as that, the replay should be up. The replay should go up on the YouTube channel. So even if you don't make the live Q&A session, you should be able to watch the replay, hopefully. But yeah, hopefully you guys do join the live Q&A session. Just been watching the football, Spurs and Brighton. I mean, tell you what, I don't know how Tottenham managed to mess that one up. Thought that was going to be an easy win for them. But yeah, they fell apart, didn't they? Anyway, that's enough talking rubbish. Hopefully, I've given everyone a couple of minutes to try and join the Q&A session. Any questions you have, guys, just stick it down in that comment section. I can't believe the last time we did a Q&A session on the main channel was for the 15,000 subscribers, which I believe was 8 months ago. I'm just having a quick look now. I was having to do a quick YouTube search to see when it actually was. I'm sure it was quite a while ago. 9 months ago. Wow, 9 months ago. That was the last time we got the last live Q&A session for the 15,000 subscribers. That's 9 months to get 1,000 subscribers. Tough going sometimes, isn't it? Anyway, let's get into the questions here. Whoa, that's the wrong one I'm clicking on. The TJ09, TJ, you're always on the live streams, man. Well done, Jacob, on 16K. Thank you so much. You must have been around for like a good long time for quite a few of those for thousand subscribers nowadays, haven't you? How long do you think you'll be doing YouTube for? Hopefully, as long as I can do it for that. Well, I still enjoy it. I still enjoy it right now. The only point where it would come to the point where I don't know if I could carry on YouTube is where the views don't make sense to do it anymore, because doing a video a day, it takes about probably I'd say 3 hours to do a video, and then obviously you got the Patreon content on top, which is another 2 videos, so you got another 21 hours of content there, and that's not including any stock market research, full-time job on top. It just comes down to the point where it has to come the reward to the effort that's put in. And YouTube's never going to be, for a channel my size, is never going to be a high paying channel. And I'm not a delusion where I ever think that this will be a YouTube channel that gets to a 100k subs. I don't think we'll ever get to 100k subs. It just has to be to the point where it's worth my time doing it. And it used to be worth that. There was a point only, as you probably saw a few weeks ago, a few months ago, whatever it was, I said, if it carries on like this, I might have to call it a day or change how the current system does work on YouTube, with that either stopping doing videos or reduce the videos. But the last 3 months, since I've made that video, it's actually been really good. There's been like a 30% increase in like the views and subscribers. So if it carries on doing that, then happy days. So I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know if the drop off originally was like just a summer drop off. It normally does have a bit of a drop off in summer, but yeah, it's been a good improvement in the last kind of couple of months, and hopefully that kind of continues. Another 30% increase from where we're at right now would actually be really happy with. It wouldn't, it could stay there for like the next 4 or 5 years, and I'd be quite happy with it. So yeah, we'll see how we're doing. I said I'd give you an update at Christmas where we're at, but the last kind of few months has actually been pretty good since I last did the video where I was like, it's not looking good out there. So yeah. We got Gody. Gody's joining us. Gody, you've been around for a long time, haven't you? I mean, how long have you been watching the YouTube channel now? You must be on like good 4 or 5 years. I think I can remember, as far as I can remember, for a long time you've been like commenting on the YouTube channel. We've got dividend portfolio. Dividend portfolio is here, and yes, he's buying hymns. He's buying hymns. He must like hymns. I don't blame you. It's a good stock. It's a good stock. S&P inclusion 600 on the Friday, which was really nice, and I think I bought like $13, $14, only a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, I was running the numbers the other day, and I was like, it's still got plenty of upside as hymns. 1004 hold says, hi Jacob. Hi. Would you ever buy Amazon? You know what? I had a quick look at Amazon over the weekend, to be fair, and I thought, you know what? It's not a bad valuation right here. It's not too bad. You know, with Amazon, there's times where you can get it like stagnant for like a couple of years, or it can even drop like 20 or 30%. And that's where the time would come really interesting to buy Amazon. I don't think that's happening right now, to be fair. What's Amazon been doing? Yeah, it's kind of stayed stagnant, hasn't it, for like the last kind of 5 months? Yeah, if it could stay stagnant for like another 6 months or even drop a little bit, could be a little opportunity to buy. It tends to have it every so often, so we'll keep an eye on it. But it's not, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a terrible valuation at all, for sure. When are we having a recap of Ball? I believe Hollywood Ball are actually reporting their earnings in like 2 weeks' time. I think it was 2 weeks' time. I actually had a look the other day. The reason why I actually had a look the other day is I'm probably going to buy some shares on Monday. Letting into a little bit of a secret there. Yeah, I'm planning on buying some shares back in Hollywood Bowl on Monday, which will actually be the first time I bought shares in Hollywood Bowl for a long time. Hollywood Bowl financial calendar. Let's have a look. Oh, there's no past. Oh, that's why. Yeah, so they've not actually confirmed the reporting soon, but they did a full year trading update on the 10th of October. And last year they did a full year trading update on the 19th of October. So we're probably around about a week, 2 weeks away from a full year trading update. So yeah, we should get an update sometime soon. But yeah, either I'll probably review their earnings when they do report in like 2 weeks' time. If not, it'll be on the stocks I'm buying series because I'm probably going to buy this month. So that'll obviously be out at the end of the month, end of October. So yeah, I should be talking about Hollywood Ball some point on the YouTube channel in the next kind of 2 or 3 weeks. The Gertch has joined us. Same again. Gertch has been around for a long time on the YouTube channel. COVID 2020. Yeah. Are you? So when you got started in the market, Cody? I can't even remember. Because hey Jacob, thank you. Well done on. So thank you very much. Do you watch Amit? No, never heard of him. Never heard of him. But I don't really focus on Palantir too much, so maybe that's the reason why. But no, I never heard of him. Where's Andy? He's probably staring at the Hims and Hers share price with like a closed fist, going, "I knew I should have bought at $3." Thoughts on S4 Capital, please? Yeah, it's fucked. There's no other way to say it. It's not in a good place. It's not in a good place. I thought it would have a rebound year this year, and advertising is having the rebound year. And then when you look at other advertising companies, they are rebounding. The concern with S4 Capital, it's not rebounding financially. I listened to the last earnings report, and like Martin Terrell was saying, like, you look at other companies, advertising is rebounding. Why aren't we rebounding? Well, it's because we're very focused on tech. You look at tech spending, like if you go on Meta's earnings, their advertising and marketing isn't going up. They're not spending, so they're saying like, that's why we're not doing well, which isn't good, because if it isn't rebounding now, when is it going to rebound? And are the big techs never going to put that spending budget back into advertising? Are they kind of like so focused on AI nowadays that they kind of just shifted that marketing budget into AI spending, like Meta, for example? So yeah, it's not good. I thought it would rebound this year and it hasn't. And I'm willing to give it a couple more months and see if, the big tech do go back to the marketing spend, especially, back end of the year. But next, I think that the hope now is that someone buys it out, and I don't want to jump out just yet because that could happen. I still don't know how S4 Capital didn't take the bid that they had now, for, like at the start of the year when it was like for £1 something or other, like they should have probably took it. So we'll have a think on it. I'm willing to give it like another 12 months, and then we'll have to have a bit of a decision, I think, on that one, but it's not great. Chris says, hi, Jacob, long time subscriber, but don't comment too often. I've seen you about, though. I've seen you about. I see your name. No problem. Where do you think PayPal will be at the end of the year? If it can do a good Q3 earnings, I could easily see it 85, 90. I mean, obviously that's all short term. So, get your crystal ball out and, anything can happen in the short term. but it should have a strong end to the year if it has a good Q3. Looking at the Q, doing a video on PayPal tomorrow. Actually, I've actually just recorded it now. But yeah, if it has a good Q3 and look at the Q3 earnings, they look pretty easy to beat. The estimates are quite conservative, so yeah, if it has a good Q3, then hopefully the rally kind of continues, but we'll see. We should see like a couple of analyst upgrades starting to kick in. Obviously, it probably gives some full year guidance maybe as well. 16k followers I'm estimating with. I wish it was that much. 16k followers. That'd be a good if it could convert the subscribers to millions, that would be nice. Who has the best? Oh, that is a good question. Better management team, Card Factory or Supreme? Oh, I think you would have to maybe go Supreme, just because the guys there, it's a founder-led business under oh, I forgot his name. Who is the founder of Supreme? What's his name? It begins with an S, doesn't it? Sandy, isn't it? Sandy. I can't even remember his name. Probably because he's a founder-led business. I think you've always got to go with founder-led businesses. So yeah, obviously Darcy Wilson's done a great job at Card Factory, but he's been there for a shorter time and he's not a founder-led business, I guess. So I guess that would be the casting vote. Why do you buy UK stocks when the economy has peaked and has been in decline since 2008? Just because the economy declining doesn't mean there's not great underlying businesses under there. There's been some absolutely cracking performers in the UK market even since 2008. You look at the likes of War Paint, that must have been close to a 10 bagger. JD Sports has been a 10 bagger. Jet2 is still a 10 bagger. There's still quality businesses out there, even if the economy is not as good as the US economy. There's still good businesses that you can invest in and make good returns from. I think the UK economy isn't actually that bad at the moment. To be fair, I'm a little bit worried about the current government that's in place, but even given that, I believe that there's still companies that can do well going forward, and even expansion into the US. You've got likes of War Paint and JD Sports that are now entering the US. And the great thing about the UK market is that we just have a close eye on it, don't we? In the US, you're always buying these stocks that you got to do a lot of research on, but the amount of times that you're buying stocks in the UK and you use every day, you can go into a Card Factory every day and, you can see how busy it is. You go into Holland Ball every day, you see how busy it is. And that's a great thing with the UK is that you can kind of have that upper hand where you actually see a lot of these businesses working. It's a shame there's not a lot more. There's a lot of UK businesses that don't IPO nowadays, and it would be, good. It would be good to see them on the UK market, like something like a Nando's, for example. I mean, how successful have we seen Nando's be in the UK for like the last kind of couple of years, and then that's never IPO'd. Imagine if that IPO'd, it would have been a brilliant performer for the UK markets. There's a lot of other stocks out there. I'm trying to think of some off the top of my head that UK based. I mean, Lush is a high street retailer, which I believe is a UK business. Is it? Having a quick look. Well, it's headquartered in the UK. I'm assuming it's a UK business. Yeah, there's so many UK companies that it's always disappointing that some of them don't actually end up coming onto the UK market. That would be the more attractive thing to make to come onto the UK market is easier for these sort of businesses, to be fair. Zscaler, I looked at, but there was something. I think it was just a valuation. I think it was. It was when I saw my dart trace. So you're going back a while. On when I looked at it, but I believe it was just the valuation. But it looks like the company's doing really well. So yeah. What are your four key metrics for a stock? Oh wow. So I'm guessing metric wise can't include anything like profit growth, revenue growth. PE, obviously, PE. Do a class forward PE is a separate one or the same one? That's a key one. Debt. The debt ratio is probably a key one that I'll look at for a balance sheet point of view. I do end up using it EV to EBITDA quite a bit. I can't. Do you class shares outstanding as a metric? I don't know if you can count that as a as a metric. Same for like a dividend ratio. That's obviously something key that I always look at on a dividend stock. I don't know if you can count that as a metric. A lot of people use price to book. I don't use price to book too much. Free cash flow to market cap. You could use that one a little bit. I don't use it too much. It's another good one though that I guess you could use. Um, yeah, one of them. I've named a few there, so I'd pick that one of them as my fourth one. What's your general thoughts on aviation stocks going forward? I hate them. I absolutely hate them. There's only Jet2 that I have ever bought that I do like. And even then I found a bit nervous like having Jet2. But generally I don't like them. They're all low barrier, not low barrier to entries, but there's low moats. Generally people just buy the cheapest flight, don't they? There's not really any loyalty. Can be open to a lot of disruption. But Jet2 has always been the one that I like because they've done really well. It's one that has decent customer reputation, and I think there's a little bit of loyalty with Jet2 where people will choose to fly Jet2 over brands. I personally do it. I choose Jet2 over other brands if I'm going on holiday if I can. Um, Generally have a better experience than Ryanair and EasyJet and all that. So yeah, I don't like the sector. I probably would never ever buy another stock in this sort of space apart from Jet2. But even then with Jet2, I'm sometimes a bit like, I've made my money now. Do I kind of move on for it? So I'm not a big fan of it. Do you think Card Factory will go any lower? Congrats on 16K. Oh, thank you very much. But yeah, I mean, Card Factory, anything can happen, can't it, in the short term? It's crystal ball moment, isn't it? Is it going to go higher? Is it going to go lower? The only thing I stare at is look at the value it's at right now. Is it going to be higher in 5 years? That's all I'm doing. And if it drops lower, you know what? I buy more shares. I bought some shares already on the drop, and then I'm going to see if it does continue dropping, and I'll consider buying some more shares because I look at the stock right now and I think, worst case scenario, right? Let's say the stock doesn't do anything for like the next kind of 5 years. You're picking up a 6% dividend yield nearly. It's still okay. Worst case scenario if it doesn't do anything. But I mean, what the stock is, currently at 8 times earnings. If it hits its full year guidance, it's going to drop to what back down to 6 times earnings. So much potential for the growth still with the Aldi stores, the US expansion coming in, some of the partnerships it's lining up. So yeah, I think worst case scenario, if the stock doesn't do anything from here, then I'm still going to click 6% dividend, but I think that it'll be higher in the next few years, and that's the more important part to me. I guess you could maybe because it is on quite a steep decline at the moment. Maybe you wait for it to calm down a little bit before you do go buy, I guess, but it's not really a big issue for me. Um, well, I guess if you're going from a stock market point of view, you probably want Trump in, don't you? Tax cuts, more profit, cheaper earnings. Hopefully, last time, a lot of companies threw that into dividends, special dividend, share buyback. So I guess if you're looking from a stock market point of view, you probably want Trump in, but depends if you want to go much further than that. Rocket Lab, I've heard of Rocket Lab, but I've, for some reason I have heard of it, but I can't even remember it that well. Or am I thinking like Rocket Mortgages? That could be it. Defense industry, that's going to be a hot one right now, surely. Wow, they lose a ton of money though. Oof. They lose a ton of money. Yeah, it's a little bit ugly on that profitability side, isn't it? Some questions. How do you invest in VCTs or EIS? No, I do not. Ah, there you go. I was close, weren't I? I got Sunday. Out of the worst stocks, which are you happy to buy more of to lower your average? I'm guessing you meaning Daz there that the stocks that I'm down on the most, which I'm most willing to buy at the moment. Uh, I'd like to buy more D local. I'm down about 50% on that. But I've got to see a good earnings report. So I would like to buy more, but I can't. The one that I'm down the most and I'm actively more buying would be probably Block. I'm down like 38% on Block, maybe. And I think like the company has had a smashing year. So I'm quite happy to probably buy that one. Evolution, I'm down about 12% on, and I really like that one. I'm not really sure. I've passed that one actually, to be fair. Probably them, as far as I can think of. First heard of Cakebox from you. Glad I did one of the best UK stocks. Yeah, Cakebox is a really, really good company. I think they've got an update sometime soon. To be fair, I'm really thinking of buying some more shares in Cakebox because, I mean, the company is paying like a 5% dividend yield right now. On a P ratio basis, it says it's 14 times here. I don't know if it's any lower on a forward P. I'm not sure. All companies at the moment are getting hit on the P basis because of the higher tax that's gone up in the UK and higher wages. It's been a double hit for a lot of UK companies this year, where there's not much positivity around the profitability growth because of that. We increased the tax rates in the UK from 20 to 5%, which, hey, we love being taxed here, don't we? Um, I'm just trying to see if there's a forward P on Catebox. I'm struggling to find one. PE. Yeah, Stockopedia say it's 14 times forward P. Next 2026, it's 11 forward P. So I mean, if it gets 11 forward P in 2026, I think it should trade at 20 times earnings. This business, to be fair. So yeah, I wouldn't mind buying more if it does go a little bit lower. Not seen you for a while. Hope you're doing well. How are the portfolios you manage with family members going? I remember you mentioned this a while ago. Yeah, really good. Really good. I won't say the family members' name or names. One of them had to, long story short, they had like something went really wrong with the house, so they had to withdraw the money to do this emergency repair to the house, which was a big emergency repair to a house, is what I'll say. It's not funny. I shouldn't laugh. It's all right. They're not watching. And then the other family member, yeah, doing really well. They've got most. Said to them, you put most of your money in the S&P 500, and I think a lot of it's in there, and the rest of it is a couple of the things that I like to buy. So like the DraftKings and Hims, they bought a lot of that though in 2022. Like DraftKings had positions like up like 200, 300%, which is crazy because I look at my position, I'm like, you bugger, like you've got like a 2, 3x on DraftKings, and yeah, it's all right for me. I'm still up 5% on DraftKings, but when I stare at their average, I'm like, look at you, 200% up on DraftKings. That's time that to perfection. So yeah, really good. I actually get asked quite a bit now. Uh, People asking me, kind of a bit more well known that I do a lot of this sort of stuff, and like invest in the S&P, most money in the S&P 500, and then I say, like, if you want some individual stuff, I'll throw you like 5 or away and, put like 20% in it. And then because they don't do the research like I do, so they won't know the right time to kind of add and trim the positions a little bit. So, um, yeah. Trendfall says, "Hi, Jacob." All question marks there. Do you invest in ETFs? And if so, which ones do you invest in? If you don't invest in ETFs, what do you look for before investing in them? I only have one, which is the S&P 600. The reason why I have that is I think small caps are massively undervalued. Um, I think the S&P 600 has historically massively outperformed the Russell. And when I look at the S&P 600 valuation, it trades at like 13 times earnings or something like that right now. Normally it trades at like 20 times earnings. And it's normally outperformed the S&P 500, which for the last 2 years it hasn't outperformed the S&P 500. So a big disconnect there. And as well as that, I believe that if interest rates are going to go lower, that normally lifts a lot of small cap companies up because small cap and then get a lot of capital for cheaper. A lot of small cap companies are normally in the growth stage, require more capital. And if we're going to get interest rate cuts in the next kind of 2 years, hopefully that supports the small caps growth. I'm normally quite a small cap investor, really. I say that, and then I just thought about my 5 largest positions, and I thought there's Google in there, Meta in there. So I don't know if that's actually true, but I like to think I'm a small cap investor. So yeah, that's the only one that I do have. Do you do this full time, or is it a side job? Yeah, this is all a side job. So yeah, enjoy it. Sometimes it's a bit of a nightmare when you do come home from work and it's like 5 o'clock, and then you realise you forgot to record the video, and you gotta go do it, and it gets to, like, 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and, like, get to the dinner table, and my missus is staring at me with my dinner cold, and like, "You said you did that video?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I thought I did." And the other nightmare is, like, when you record a video at, like, 6 or 7 AM, and then by the time you, like, edit it all, there's, like, a major news story that comes out at, like, 12 PM, um, or 1 PM or something. You're like, "Well, nobody wants to watch this today because this news story is gonna be the focus today." Yeah, so it can be a hard balance sometimes, so yeah. No problem. Options, we don't have options, well, I don't know if you're from the UK, Cal, but we don't have good option choice in the UK. We do have some, there's a few platforms that do have it, but there's a lot more regulation around option trading in the UK. The more focus on the UK is like CDFs. You're supposed to really probably go down the CF, C contract or different, yeah, CFDs. So yeah, I don't really touch them. I don't need the extra stress. But um, option trading is a lot more interesting than CFD. Um, what we do have in the UK. So if option trading did become more accepted and used in the UK, it would be something more interesting. But right now, it just goes down to the lack of availability in the UK. Really, it's the main reason why. Did you sell some of the Chinese stocks you had, EHang and yeah? No, not sold any of them. EHang, I always said when I bought it like a few years ago, I'll either crash and burn and lose 100%, or I'll hopefully make a 10 bagger or something on it. So that will be for a long time. Um, so yeah, still holding. I think the company could still do okay. Obviously, they got slapped with a lot of regulation. I've still got the special dividend to come, which is the 25th of October. They're paying that, which will be really nice. But yeah, I think they can turn it around. The advertising platform is growing really well. I think in the last quarter that was a really big growth driver for them. So yeah, hopefully the worst is behind it now, and Hugh does start kicking on again. Addy B joining us. Steve T says, "Do you think Cake Box is?" Yeah, it could potentially. Um, I always thought, Greggs, it would be actually quite an interesting fit for Greggs, to be fair. But yeah, I think somebody could take it over. They've still got a lot of room for expansion, to be fair, in the whole UK, so still really early days. Rush, you see, to get those questions in, you're making those mistakes now. Thanks very much, Darren, for the congratulations on the 6 Cal, you're not Sanjay in disguise, are you? You won't know if you're not on the Discord, you know Sanjay. He's a big Robinhood fan. Mixed opinions, mixed opinions. It could do really well. The problem that I have at the moment is they make a lot of money off. What's it's a big driver of money coming in at the moment, and I can't remember what it is. Is it the higher interest rate on the cash that's held on their accounts? I believe it's that. A lot of income comes from that. So if the higher interest rate environment was to go, it could really dry up um the profitability for Robinhood. I believe they make a lot of money from crypto as well, which once again, crypto, it only takes a bit of a bear market, that can really hit, the crypto prices and probably hit the Robinhood profitability like it did in, was it 2022 when they really struggled for profitability? So yeah, just the it looks good, and I think Robinhood platform could do really well in the next 5, 10 years. I just get a little bit concerned when I look at what potentially the volatility and the profitability could be, because it is exposed very quickly in downturns, and it could dry up very fast. That's probably the only thing. So yeah. What do I think of DraftKings versus Gaming Realms? Obviously, yeah, obviously I own both of them, and DraftKings is a large position in the market, so obviously really bullish in DraftKings because it's the leader at the end of the day. Gaming Realms, it needs DraftKings to survive. DraftKings doesn't need anyone to survive, so DraftKings will always be the more bigger quality company over Gaming Realms. But from a value point of view, I'd rather be buying Gaming Realms right now. So a bit of a mixed answers there. Not sure on that one. They're really undervalued. OSB, I've never heard of that one. OSB. Oh, I have heard of these guys, yeah. Well, you'd pay you if you're buying that one, you're looking more from a dividend point of view, aren't you? There's not much growth or revenue growth in the business. You're just really looking at a bit of a safe dividend yield that whatever they pay, 8 7% dividend yield. I don't think you get much share price. It says it's covered by 34% on a ratio point of view. What's the stock price done? Stock price been, oh, had a fair drop on it at the moment, to be fair. Yeah, you're never gonna get crazy share price return. Um, it's one of those that you just look at a safe 7 8% dividend yields. If you want that, there you go. So yeah, we covered S4 Capital a little bit earlier on, so after this is done, you should be able to catch the replay. So yeah, I won't answer that one again. Thank you very much. Right. Yeah, I'd be more happy to buy options if there was more availability on Trainton 2 platform. Thank you very much. Uh, current stocks that have the biggest disconnect between the growth and core valuations. Oh, well, I would have said 2 months ago, PayPal, but I can't say that one at the moment. Um, just off the top of my head that I can think of, I'm gonna think of companies that have been like I'm not gonna put Card Factory on the list because I can understand why it's down because it's had a bad report. So the ones that I would say, like, I've seen good reports from, but yet the share price is down, would be probably the likes of Gaming Realms. I'm surprised that's not kicked on. Evolution, that's probably one that's probably should have kicked on a little bit more than where it has done at the moment. Google looks a little bit cheap for where it should be at the moment. Warpaint, that probably should have kicked on a little bit more after its last update. It did, and then it gave it all back. Warpaint could be up there. Card no, Card Factory. K-Box has been okay at the moment, but yeah, not really much movement in the share price. Trying to think what else has performed not great at the moment this year, but it should be a little bit higher. It's hard when you put on the spot. Trying to remember what stocks you're on. But yeah, I'd say like probably the 2 big ones that stand out is like Evolution and Gaming Realms because they've had like I don't know if it's something to do with the space because obviously they're in the same sort of industry, but I mean Evolution is like below a market average valuation of 20 times earnings, like it's like 17 times earnings, and Gaming Realms is like 17 times earnings. But yet both of those companies like have been growing high teen revenue growth and profit growth, yet the share price has pretty much done nothing. In fact, both of them have probably gone down slightly. So, yeah, I'd probably go one of them 2 at the moment. I probably should be buying a little bit more Evolution, at some point, so we'll see. Future, probably one that I should have bought a few months ago when advertising was a little bit weak, but I was so focused on S4 Capital. I should have probably sold S4 Capital and put it into Future, and I probably would have made it up. But I've not looked at it recently, but I should have bought it because it was at a really attractive value not too long ago. I know it's run up a little bit, so probably just have to rerun the numbers. But I know it was a really good opportunity not too long ago. To be fair, a lot of guys on the Discord were buying it. To be fair, which company would you invest in next week if you had the chance? I'm tempted by SoFi. Yeah, I like SoFi a little bit cheaper. I'm not gonna lie, it's run up a little bit at the moment. Card Factory, yeah, I've been buying Card Factory. The only difference is with that one, SoFi is absolutely smashing earnings. SoFi was probably a good one to put in there, to be fair. Card Factory, yeah, it's cheap. The only thing you got to deal with that is that it's just had a week. One. Neo, yeah, I'm always a bit neutral on Neo. Neo is probably the last one on my list. Um, I'd rather go BYD over Neo. Is Neo even making profitability yet? Yeah, Neo's not even profitable yet. Um, Whereas you could go by BYD, which is like, it's like international now, isn't it? I can't even find yeah, there we go. I mean, what's BYD trading at? Oh, it's 24 times earnings. I thought it used to be a little cheaper than that. Um, yeah. I'd be SoFi or Card Factory. I'm not particularly a big fan of Neo at the moment. Yeah, Google, I'm surprised that it's been a little bit weak at the moment because the report has been very good, and yet it's still a very cheap valuation, especially when you compare it to some of the other newer ones. Big tech stocks out there. Trade Desk, I've not looked in for a long time. There's a couple of stocks I need to look at. Trade Desk is on there, and there's also, what's the other stock? Is it Salesforce? There's someone else that I need to have a look at some point. Have you made a dLocal video on YouTube? Not s Yeah, I did on the last earnings, not anyone anytime, not anyone recently. Um, no, Evolution, like the iGaming company, ticker symbol EVO. It's dual listed on the over-the-counter markets on the US. On the Its main listing is on the Swedish market, ticker symbol EVO. That's on the OM, I believe it is. I think that's the correct stock market symbol for the Swedish stock market. Um, yeah, Evolution AB, should say its full name. That would be an easy one. Elf Beauty I buy at the moment. I've not really had a particular look at it. Um, the last time I looked, I stared at it and went, "Why would I buy this when I can buy wall paint?" 'Cause as far as I'm aware, Elf Beauty is still like 30 times earnings. It's still 50 times earnings. Um, Granted, it's got a little bit more growth, but like wall paint is what's wall paint right now? Wall paint's 24 times earnings, so it's half the value, and its growth is still very impressive. And it's not done whatever else did and took like a big stack of debt on not too long ago, to be fair. Um, yeah, I think it's normally under 7 that I buy so far. It's either 7 or 7.50 I normally buy so trying to find it out for you. It would help if I could spell SoFi. What am I doing? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it quite often SoFi gets below $7. Yeah, that's particularly where I would buy. I'm just looking right now, you could have bought SoFi in the under the $7 range, like October time, November time, March time, May time, June, July, August. Oh, I'm gonna say September. It was very close to $6 at September. The only month so far you're not really been able to buy SoFi under in the $6 range, under 7 or just about $7 is so far in October. So yeah, about $7 or under is where I think SoFi is, the one to look at. Oof, I mean, they've gotta do something, haven't they? They've gotta do something because, it's not looking good at them for a moment. I don't know how long they continue to keep doing the numbers that they are doing, and Command Day, whatever it is, 70 times earnings. It's, it's not had a growth for 2 years, and, it looks very, close to not having growth for 3 years now. So, yeah, it needs to certainly do something. Is hold by still price? I'm gonna I think you might have missed it at the start. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pull the trigger on a Hollywood Ball on Monday, actually, I'm thinking. So, yeah. Could Hims 10x in the next 10 years? If everything goes to perfection, yes. Yes, but everything would need to go right for it. Like, it would need to get profit margins to 10% and above. It would need to carry on growing at, like, 5% a year. It would need to buy back shares. Yeah, it could do it, go right. It could do, we'll see what happens. These just close up later for long term. It comes down to you as a personal investor, Rob. If you want a nice, easy life, yes, I would just buy an ETF, 100%. You don't have these wrinkles appear in this last 4 years, doing individual stocks. You know? So, yeah, up to you, up to you. It's a lot more work doing individual stocks, but the rewards are greater. But if you want an easier life, 100% goes to ETF. So, and you still make good returns. Yeah. Yeah, that's plus 500, yeah. A lot of stuff on plus 500 you don't actually own the asset as well, which is the key thing to see. No, I've not actually. Probably should start at some point, to be fair. Uh, Bullet says, "Love your content and consistent video loads. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching." And then news stocks you've been eyeing up, hoping to join Patreon soon. Yeah, no problem. New stock wise, I have bought a new UK stock last week. Um, I can't say it on here just yet which stock it is, but it is a UK stock, I'll tell you that. Yeah, so I did buy a UK stock last week, which is a brand new position, which I think has good potential for growth, and it also pays quite a nice dividend. So yeah, that's the new stock that I've been buying, but I'll announce that probably on YouTube in 2 weeks' time. Probably I'll do a video on it. Um, the newest stock before that I bought, I actually don't know which one it was. It might have been Starbucks, but obviously I've sold Starbucks out now, 'cause it went up so much. Um, I mean, Wall Paint's actually a relatively newer position as well, which is quite a newer position, to be fair. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's a newer one. I mean, the only one in the US is probably, like, Lululemon or Ulta Beauty. Those are probably, like, the newer ones, I would say, on the US side of it, so probably them guys. But, yeah, these are a new one that I have, relatively, relatively, bought, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna pull the trigger on a buy, yeah. I don't think I could ever sell, hold ball at the moment, like, the valuation's very good. The dividend I get is pretty good. I mean, right now it's paying something like a is it 5% dividend yield? On company. 4%, yeah, Holdball's paying currently a 4% dividend yield. Because of the average that I have, I get like a 7% dividend yield, so I don't really need the stock to go too crazy in the next few years because I'm gonna get a nice dividend from it. I mean, 15 times earnings, 14 times earnings on the forward PE ratio. It's still very exciting from the calendar expansion point of view. It seems to be going quite well, so, I'm not worried. With Greggs is one I'm worried about because I do believe, like, they're near the ceiling, but with like, I don't know how much more they can keep opening up new stores, and that's one I'm thinking of maybe chucking out the portfolio at some point. Whereas Hoodball, I'm not really worried about the ceiling because we now got the calendar expansion that should potentially let them, go up a little bit and, maybe they go think about the US after that. So, yeah, um, yeah, I'm buying and I think it's still a very attractive opportunity for the next 5 years, and I'll keep adding into it when I can, just keep topping that position up if it ever has any dips. One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch is always my one to go to. Anyone ever asks the questions about book-wise, yeah, I always say One Up on Wall Street is definitely the book I always recommend. It's an absolutely fantastic book, and it does really, from a retailer investor point of view, opens your eyes what you need to be doing. Yeah, 100%, that's the one. It's my one that I'd recommend. Oh, that's a super chat. Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you very much. Bought my first gold last week all time, but want to avoid capital gains at university. I've never been a big fan of gold. I personally am not something I would buy. The thing that did make me laugh though is that I believe somebody told me they bought it was like 2 or 3 years ago now, they told me they bought a gold bar and they put the yeah, they bought a gold bar and then they bought a safe to put in the house, to put the gold bar in the safe in the house. And, he showed me this time, like, "Look at this gold bar I've got." And, I was like, "What you bought that for? It's an absolute waste of money, gold doesn't do anything." I think, like, since he bought that in, like, the last 3 years, like, gold has absolutely shot up massively, and, every time, like, I've seen him, he says to me, he says, "Oh, what did you say about gold prices?" I was like, "Yeah, prove me wrong." But, yeah, I wouldn't, not one for me at the moment. Sometimes spots and oil stocks, I don't really tend to touch them just because there's so many external factors, um, out there that just affect their prices too much. That I just don't really like it too much. It's just not an industry that I'm comfortable in. So, yeah, I'm not really a big fan of oil stocks. Not buy if I was forced to buy an oil stock, I mean, BP would probably be the one that I'd look at. I mean, I think actually at the moment it's having a bit of a dip, isn't it? Yeah, it's having a bit of a dip. It's down like 70%, 12 times earnings. At the end of the day, you're gonna pick up like a 5.5% dividend yield from BP. So at least I'll know I'm kind of getting some form of dividend, I guess, from holding it. So that'd probably be something that I'd probably go with. So yeah, I'm not a big fan, but if I was to get forced into an oil stock, I'd probably BP would probably be the one that I'd go for. Tom says, "I know there are some bad ones, but what are your favorite YouTubers to watch, follow? Congrats on 60K, thank you." No problem, Tom. Favorite ones, Daniel Pronk. I do like Daniel Pronk's content. I just wish he would talk about the stock he's actually buying a lot more. But the stock information he does give out is good. Ali's World of Stocks. I followed Ali's World of Stocks for like 6 years now, and, he's made, like, a lot of good buys, got a lot of good content out there. Same again, he's the only thing I have about him is he's done, like, this thing now where he's, like, got a community portfolio, and he talks a lot about that, which most of the time his community members tell him what to buy, whereas previously, like, he used to talk about the stocks he's actually buying, and he should do that more because the stocks he had were just, he's had some really good ones, like, he was one of the only guys that I know that was, like, buying Tesla back in 2018, and I know he made a lot of money from that. I know he was quite bullish on, like, Palantir at $8, and he's made a lot of money from that one as well. Nvidia, I know he was big on Nvidia in, like, 2018, and obviously that's done really well for him. So he's a great stock market, thinker for sure when he, talks about his stocks. Um, Recent one that got put onto by a YouTube called Patient Investor. He seems to put some really good content out there, about stocks. Obviously a lot more US based. Listen to the Plain Footsie Guys every week. Um, Plain Footsie Guys, always a really good podcast. Probably like an hour 15 minutes long. I always try to listen to their weekly podcast. Well, they do the individual clips on YouTube and then they do the podcast on Spotify. I normally go for a run 2 or 3 times a week. I normally go for an hourish, stick one of their podcasts on. That's one of my runs for the week, kind of done. The Investor Way, they've got a good podcast on Spotify. They're a bit more like UK based. They always do like a good recap of earnings from a lot of companies out there. Fox Markets, they're good on YouTube. Once again, a lot UK based, and they sometimes have Paul Scott on from Stockopedia. If you know Paul Scott, really good investor. He does a lot of like reviews on UK companies. They report. He went on Fox Markets on Friday. I think he went on Friday, and some really good content on there. Once again, he was talking about a card factory, for example. He actually talked about Paul the Ball. He was buying. He was getting very close to buying card factory. He was looking to buy a position in Hollywood Ball as well, which was like a boost of confidence. Like, if he's buying as well, same things as me. I would like to get Paul Scott on the channel at some point if I can. Um, Jazz Wealth, they do a good recap of like the day of what's happening in the stock market. Dustin over there is he puts some really good information out. He'll give you a lot of facts. He'll say like because he's an actual stock advisor, he can't actually give like financial advice out that much on YouTube. But he'll just say a load of facts for you. He'll say like last time this happened, this is where the stock market went, and last time this stock did this, this is what happened. Really interesting. More like kind of short term things, but it's really interesting to watch. Um, Trying to think of any more off the top of my head. There's a few out there. So yeah. Oh crap! I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? I'm about to say you've already asked that question, Daz, and I was like, oh, I've gone the wrong way in the conversation. Yeah, so we're on Tom's question last. So we're on Brian. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And you're just Brian. I'm sure you're Brian from the Discord. You just joined the Discord page, aren't you? So obviously, speak to you on there as well, Brian. Um, Ugh, you know what? It's like going back to an ex after you dumped her, aren't you? No, I'll see. If it's something major, maybe, but yeah, we'll see. You ever thought about doing a podcast? Maybe. You know, you'd have to find. I think I know the right person that I'd like to do a podcast with. I'm sure you guys know who I'm thinking of. If you had the time, could be something I do. It's just it'd just be time related. You know, trying to fit it in with everything I already do. So maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. We've got Lemon joining us. Lemon, how are you doing? What you been up to? What you been buying? You been buying any more Eurocell? Probably not, have you? It's been on right one, hasn't it? That one. Uh, don't know. Did I message you? Did I message you with the new UK stock I've been buying? I can't even remember if I told you or not. But yeah, playing footsie card. Yeah, yeah. Hey, we have to be nice. The question was YouTubers that I like, and we can't be negative. Yeah, I posted it. The guys are playing footsie obviously talks about Card Factory. I posted a comment on the actual YouTube video about it, and I'm guessing you're coming from the point of view that I'm coming from, which was I didn't agree with them at all. And I'm sure that's the suggestion that you're putting right there. Yeah, I didn't agree with them at all, with a lot of the things they were saying. Um, I've already said on this video, you know, realistically, when was it like 8 times earnings? I'm just gonna go on Stockopedia and check. Is it like if they do the full year results, it's like 6 times forward earnings, right? Yeah. Yeah, 2025, yeah. So, yeah, it would go down to 6 times earnings if they hit the full year results. So if 6 times forward earnings if they do hit the full year results, you're sitting on a what did it say? 5%, 6% dividend yield, and the earnings payout ratio for, like, like, relatively low. It's like 34%, isn't it? You've got all the new deals that are kicking in, like, what is it? 13,000 exclusive card providers to Aldi. You've got this US expansion that's coming up. I mean, we'll see who that is, and, you know, imagine if that's, like, Five Below that's gonna be announced in, like, 2 weeks' time or whatever it is. How many stores does Five Below have? Fuck, I'm not forgot I was live then. How many stores do Five Below have? 1,700 stores. So you imagine if it's like Five Below, they end up like, you know, getting or Dollar General. How many stores do Dollar General have? Dollar General store. Wow. Dollar General, I never realized Dollar General even had that many stores. Dollar General has like 19,400 stores. So imagine if it's like um, Dollar General that they've landed as like the new US wholesale. I don't know. Um, we'll see what happens. But yeah, you know, they just need to keep doing those contracts winning international expansion, and yeah, they'll do really well. So for what Card Factory's priced at right now, if they get even anywhere close to what they're expected to do this year, it's gonna look cheap in my opinion. So, we'll see what happens. Is Trading 2 still your favorite investing app? If so, what's your second best investment? Yeah, Trading 2, it's everything's there, isn't it? You know, you got the ISAs, cheap fees, good availability of stocks, um, easy app to use. Yeah, it's incredible. I don't think there's even anyone close to Trading 2 at the moment from an investing app point of view. Outside of that, I mean, let's say I had to stop using Trading 2 and I had to go somewhere else. Um, oh, really? I mean, free trades annoy you with a lot of the paywalls that they currently do have. Um, I mean, you need somewhere with an ISA realistically. Um, I'm not actually sure who you'd have to trade into. I guess you would have to probably just go to free trade and then just pay the I feel like there's someone I'm missing that you could potentially say, but I can't think who it would be. Is, Interactive Brokers pretty decent nowadays? I think maybe. I don't know. I'd have to let's just pray 2022 doesn't ever go bankrupt and we're all right. Um, can you look at Atlas Mining PLC? Yeah, I don't touch mining companies, to be honest with you. A lot of volatility there, so yeah, oil, mining, and pharma stocks, and sometimes semiconductor stocks, potentially. Those are kind of niches that I don't really touch. So yeah. Same with, like, energies, yeah, energies, there's a lot of volatility in that kind of space. There's a lot of impacts from, external factors of, like, mining companies. I don't like stocks that get impacted by external things, basically. So, whether you look at, like, mining companies, a lot of them can be like what value copper is, what value silver is. They get affected by external pricing a lot more, and for me as, like, an investor, I don't really have, like, the knowledge and the edge to predict where they're going, so I just stay away from them. Same with, like, oil companies, I can't really predict where oil prices are going. Energy companies, I can't really predict too much where energy prices are going. So, yeah, I tend to stay away with anything that has external factors that can change them that much, just because it adds that element of being hard to predict. So yeah. Thank you for all your content. Do you spread betting? Another question. I don't do spread betting. How have you how you haven't opened any positions in beverages and luxury sector except watching Switzerland? Yeah, you know what? It is something that I always think about. I mean, beverages, I have got Celsius. I guess I kind of do have a beverage play. Um, I keep looking at Wetherspoons, and I do think Wetherspoons does look kind of interesting at the moment, but the only thing I always struggle with Wetherspoons is, like, the debt. The financial report is unbelievably, like, complicated for a pub business. So there is that, but the balance sheet also kind of puts me off. But I guess I have Celsius. I did have Starbucks, I've kind of sold that on, I guess, from the beverage point of view. A lot of people keep shouting out Diageo to me. Um, I don't know what it is with Diageo. I don't know if I just want it, like, a little bit cheaper. Um, there's obviously, the UK Coca-Cola that potentially is something to look at. I don't know. I've just never really found the correct one apart from Celsius. Um, Luxury sector, yeah, you know what? I keep staring at a lot of luxury products that I potentially could buy. I've stared at Kering for a long time, never pulled the trigger. I've stared at LVMH, and I just think that that's still a little bit too expensive. It's the best brand, but it's, in my opinion, not like a big discount. Like, you're still picking it up at 23 times earnings. It's not cheap. Kering looks the more attractive one, but I generally get worried about Gucci. I don't know if it's ever going to have the rebound. I don't know if the brand's a bit tainted. Doc Martens I like, but I just don't know when Docs are gonna come popular again. Maybe I do just kind of sit it out and wait for Docs to come popular again. Burberry, I actually oh, yeah, I don't know if I should say that. I'm gonna say I actually like where Burberry is right now. I think there's a lot of upside to the risk there. I still think they're in big poo-poo. Um, there's a lot of issues, but considering how low it is right now, if it gets anywhere close to the levels that it used to do profitability, even if it's less, um, it could do quite well potentially. So Burberry is probably the more tempting one potentially out of them all. Um But I just get nervous because I don't really know which of the strong brands, uh, kind of once again comes down to, like, external factors. I don't know which one's gonna be, like, the popular one in the fashion space, so it's um, harder to predict really. If I was 100% sure, like, Docs was gonna fly, yeah, I'd have bought that one now. If I was 100% sure that, Burberry was gonna recover, I'd buy that one now. So, yeah. Stop it. Yeah, Rio Tinto, that's that's probably like the better mining company that if you were forcing me to buy one, like I said with oil, like if you were forcing me to buy an oil stock, I'd go for BP. If you forced me to buy a mining stock, Rio Tinto would be the one I would go for, just 'cause it's a little more consistent on the revenue and profitability basis. So Are there any semiconductor stocks you are interested in? No, not really. Especially right now, it seems like we're probably like the top of a cycle. So yeah, I wouldn't really be interested in that one. On Aviation, are you concerned about the US selling 6 and no, not really. You look at Andrew Dunham, he still owns what, like 8% of the business, and the equivalent of what he sold is like 0.2% of his wealth or holding. So it's really nothing. And at the end of the day, Andrew Dunham's been a shareholder. Well, he's obviously, been a founder of the company since 2017. He's been a public company since 2020. Probably wasn't his shares in like 2021. By then the stock was like $3. So he's like, I'm not selling my shares for $3. So now he's got from where it's $3 to where it's right now. He's really thinking, I've done so much for this business. I can take a little bit of capital off the table. When you're a private company, it's hard to sell shares. Where you're a public company, you only have to click the sell button, and it takes a lot of that cash in. So if it's easy for him to get a bit of money, yeah, 100%, take it. So yeah, no issues with him selling it. If he was to dump off 50% of his shares into the market, then I'd be worried. But right now, I'm not too worried. Yes, semiconductors, yeah, not a big fan. I'd say that we're probably more towards the top of the cycle with the AI situation at the moment. So yeah, not a big fan. Uber I like. I should have bought it a long time ago. I never did. I actually used to own Uber. Technically, I did used to own Uber a long time ago. Any of you guys that watched probably back in like 2008, 19, I held it for a really brief time. Had a bit of a dump off after its IPO. But yeah, I probably should have bought back a while ago. I never did. Now it's probably like a little bit of a rich valuation. I don't want to buy it, but if it ever got to the right value, yeah, I'd buy Uber. Um, what is it, $74 now? But where I'd said I'd buy Uber, it's only off where I need a 34% dip. If it ever got there, yeah, I'd buy it. I like it. Just the wrong value. Audio. I feel like I've heard that one before. Do they use some sort of music equipment? Oh, yeah, it's a UK company, isn't it? Sure it's a UK company. Uh, Audio platform. Oh, podcast company. It's not the one I'm thinking of, actually. Maybe wrong. Big dip in the profitability. I don't know what's going on there. Um, yeah, there's not much on the profit side of it. Not too bad growth. Financial assets, an okay balance sheet, actually. No debt on there. Very small, very volatile. 33 market cap is very small. Wow, there's been a lot of insider buying. A lot of insider buying. The chairman has just bought some shares. Yeah, about 9K. Oh, to be fair though, he did buy in August as well. Then he bought 11K. Oh, he's buying heavy. He bought in August, he bought in July, he bought in June, April, February. He's buying a lot of shares, to be fair, is the chairman. Um, yeah, the only thing I would say is, like, the lack of profitability there. For some reason in 2022, it used to have, like, decent amount of profitability. Is that because everybody was at home and making podcasts and YouTube channels? Um, it doesn't have a great record of profitability either. Probably that should be concerned. Can they drag it out to profit? Can they get to profit? It's a cool ticker symbol though, by the way. The ticker symbol's boom. Good one for an audio. Um, to be fair, at least we're actually expecting 5p EPS and 8p EPS in 2025. I mean, 8p EPS on a 2 is 2 stock. That's not too bad, especially if you're going at 10%. I mean, if they do the numbers that I'm looking at, it's actually not a bad value, and clearly the chairman's buying some shares, which is quite good. I mean, how they're gonna where's that profitability coming from? How are they tracking that profitability? Those have been my 2 questions. Why did it drop so much from 2022? And then my other question would be, and how are they gonna drag up the profitability that they've never been able to do apart from 2021, and can they achieve it? And if they can achieve the numbers that analysts are expecting, it could actually do quite well, to be fair. But the question is, can they do it? Uh, yes, this is who have you ever Zalando, these are thoughts. You know what? I looked at it a while ago, and I just didn't think the value was attractive. Um, but yeah, potentially if it was the right valuation. I mean, I have no idea what it's trading at the moment, but yeah, it's I could do. A little bit of a risk always with the cash and can space, but because they're a bit more brick and mortar, you might be a little bit more solid there. So yeah, it's yeah, it could be interesting. I'll have to look at it, but like I said, I don't want to. Right, I'm gonna call it time because I've been going for an hour, and I said I'd only do half an hour, or an hour. So apologies for the guys that have any questions that I've not got to yet. But I'm gonna go finish off tomorrow's video actually. I've already recorded it, so I'll go finish that off and got a few more jobs to do anyway, so I'll go get that done. Apart from that, I'll see you all in the video tomorrow unless you're on the Patreon. I might talk to you tonight. We'll see what happens. Thanks for joining anyway, guys, and thanks for all the guys that got me to 16,000 subscribers. And hopefully we'll do a 17,000 subscriber live Q&A session sometime soon. Hopefully it's not in 8 months' time. Hopefully we're doing this in 2 or 3 months. Apart from that, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in a bit.